Should you buy Left 4 Dead 2 in 2022? Left 4 Dead 2 is 12 years old. That's insane, and naturally Left 4 Dead 2 is one of the cheapest games I've ever reviewed on this channel, so it's been really fun going back to Left 4 Dead 2. But I got to play the PC version after all these years. Yes, I played Left 4 Dead 2 on the Xbox 360, leave me alone. So the question is Left 4 Dead 2 worth playing in 2022? And with the release of Dying Light 2 round the corner, and I didn't get a key unfortunately, sad times, I thought it would be fun to answer this question, so sit back and relax and enjoy watching zombies being slaughtered while some random bloke gives his irrelevant opinion. Seriously though, thank you for the support guys, you are all legends. Hop in the Discord if you haven't already. We'll start with the campaigns and then talk about the other content, and for £1.43p, there is a lot of it. So I was really surprised by how much content there is even with just the campaigns. You follow 4 characters and you can choose which ones you want to play it, as long as they haven't been taken by other players. So you've got Nick, Ellis, Coach and Rochelle, specifically for Left 4 Dead 2, but there are other characters for the original. And the beauty of these characters is the simplicity. In fact, the whole game works because of simplicity. You get who these characters are almost instantly, and that's where a game like Back 4 Blood failed. Back 4 Blood was far too focused on making quirky characters, and it just doesn't really work, whereas Left 4 Dead 2 just gives them to you and says listen or ignore them, it doesn't really matter, go shoot zombies. And I really appreciated that because it makes it very clear what kind of game you're getting here. The campaigns are all like mini stories, separated usually by 4 or 5 missions, from what I remember, and don't get me wrong, these are not massively crafted stories, but it doesn't matter, it's just survivors just trying to escape. But how does the gameplay work? Is it overly repetitive, or is it just the right balance? Well, let's go back to simplicity. The first mission in every campaign, you start with a sidearm that has unlimited ammo, and then throughout you go and find your favourite weapon and face off against hordes of zombies. That's the loop, and while yes, if you don't enjoy these over-the-top zombie games, it's not going to work for you because that's it, that's the game, and I personally love it. You have a bunch of weapons, from shotguns to assault rifles to snipers to samurai swords. It's just so much fun, but my favourite was always the shotguns. It feels so awesome to shoot zombies with shotguns. I don't know what it is, maybe I'm a psycho, but the shotguns, when you just shoot the legs, the legs explode. Oh, it's so good. Each mission is quite linear, but not as linear as something like Alien's Fireteam, as you have a lot of verticality in many of the levels, making you make choices that will often result in success or death by 1,000 zombie bites. Get it? Because death by 1,000 cuts, death by a zombie. Yeah. That's the peak of my creative writing here, guys. I'm sorry. So while there could be a bit more creativity when it comes to the layout of the levels, it's the simplicity that really sells the experience. Now, I thought this game would be dead when I booted it up, but Left 4 Dead 2's community is still very alive and well. My first time booting the game up, I joined a lobby and spoke to 3 new players who also just started playing the game, I think. So if you are worried about buying a game that is dead, don't worry, it's still very alive. And well, we'll get to the other game modes as well to prove that point in just a few minutes. Also, one of the players I played with, who you can see in the corner by the way, has now just joined the Discord, which is pretty damn cool if I do say so myself. So what are you doing? Get in the Discord, guys, you'll have a great time. Now, I haven't played through all the campaigns, as I am waiting for some of my friends to get the game so we can have some fun with it, and I don't want to spoil myself too much. But you don't even need friends to play the game, which I'm sure may be a relief to some of you introverts out there. Trust me, I've been there. While playing by yourself isn't my recommended way, it's perfectly possible, as the 3 other characters are taken over by bots, and while they aren't the smartest bots in the world, they do tend to focus on making sure you're healed rather than themselves, so it's perfectly fine to play through by yourself, just it's not as good of an experience as it is when you play with actual players. So the campaigns are great, fun, well designed despite their simplicity, and will provide so much fun for most people. And for the cheap price of £1.43p, which is probably like $1.70 or something like that, I'm not too sure, which I bought it for, is an absolute steal. So let's talk about the other content and the enemy variety. There is a reason I wanted to talk about the variety of enemies for this section. If you're enjoying this video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Come join the 7,000 people who have already subscribed. That's insane. Thank you guys so much. So not only does the campaigns give you hours and hours of content, but you also have like 7 different game modes, including a PvP game mode where one team plays as the special infected and one team plays as the survivors. Once again, it's such a simple concept, but it works beautifully. The PvP, while very tough to get into because there is a learning curve to it, is so much fun. You randomly spawn in as a tank, spitter, jockey, boomer or hunter, Those are your special infected, and your goal is to wipe out the survivors, and it can get intense. You get access to all the special abilities of the infected, and it turns into an absolute bloodbath, instantly becoming one of my favourite PvP modes that I have ever played. The only game that has done something similar is Dying Light 1, but only one person could play as the infected, so it was a little lackluster. So Left 4 Dead 2 is one of the only games you can get this kind of experience from, and on that alone I think you should give it a shot. This isn't the only game mode though. You have Realism, which is just a much harder version of the game, or you can attempt entire missions, but the only difference is that other players play as the special infected, so instead of being in a specific PvP mode where it's one goal the entire time, it's just the normal campaign missions, only the special infected are so much harder to take on because they're real players, and they are actually controlling them, which just adds a new spin to the game and can easily provide hours of fun from that alone. Along with these game modes, you have Survival and Mutation, which both add more fun to the gameplay loop, especially if you're after a really tough challenge. The beauty of this review is how simple it is, because of how simple Left 4 Dead 2 is. Left 4 Dead 2 is an incredibly fun game and provides countless hours of fun for an absolute bargain. If you haven't played Left 4 Dead 2 yet, you absolutely should buy Left 4 Dead 2 in 2022. Thank you for watching.